Bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's Community Radio.
We are still spilling the tea.
And committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman,
Live, direct.
it's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626. Bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's Community Radio.
We are still spilling the tea.
And committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman,
Live, direct.
it's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
that number again is
345-936-2626.
People talking. What are they talking about? This world's gone crazy, and I'm trying to find a way out. Nobody knows where we're going, or if we're going at all. Nobody cares if we stand, if we have nowhere to fall. It's a singing symphony, playing as the ship goes down. It's a porcelain epiphany, breaking if it hits the ground. I gotta find a way out. It's a singing symphony, playing as the ship goes down. It's a porcelain epiphany, breaking if it hits the ground. I gotta find a way out. Oh, it's a singing symphony, playing as the ship goes down. It's a porcelain epiphany, breaking if it hits the ground. I gotta find a way out.
All right. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? Happy Friday. I know a lot of the community, unfortunately, under the circumstances, we can't be happy as such, but we're going to get through this, and we're going to give you some updates this morning in terms of where things are and what is going on. And despite the circumstances, we are going to remain very, very positive today and continue to hope for a bit of good news later on today. So happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday to everyone. So, okay, we're going to get some updates here. And we're going to talk about these things that are happening in the community. So let's do some morning greetings. Good morning to Shani. Morning to Marshall. Plain and straight. So good to see you this morning. Thankful for all of you who are here with us. We've got the usual suspects who come every morning. And then we have people who pop in and out, and we appreciate all of you. So Irvelin, usual suspect, front of the class most times, straight A student. Miss Mitzi is here. She's a straight A student too. Abby, go on through Abby, straight A student, Abby. Most of you guys are just absolutely amazing and wonderful. The only people we're going to put in the naughty corner is Johan, because he eats way too many brownies. Felipe, Miss Patricia, lucky body. Miss Marjorie, good morning to you. Miss Sonia is here in the house, so good to see you. She says, anything is possible with God, hoping for good news today. Yes, I mean, we remain optimistic. That is the thought of the day. We're going to remain optimistic, yes? Until we know differently, let's remain optimistic. And I also want to say, let's hold back on all of the rumor mill. We don't know something. Yesterday afternoon, the rumor mill started to kick up, and I was like, I am not getting caught up in this. I called one of my sources on location, and they said, nope, nothing has been found. And I said, all right, well, I will tell people that nothing has been found yet. So let's continue to be optimistic. If you're traversing the Esterly Tibbetts Highway going into West Bay today, expect some traffic, and I'm going to show you why here in a minute. I need somebody to vet these videos for me beforehand, because I don't know how bad they are or if there's any profanity or anything in it. So let me send it to a few people who can have a look at them for me. Oh, my apologies. I forgot to send out the link. Gosh, there's so many of you here this morning. It didn't even occur to me that's strange. It didn't even occur to me that I had even sent out the links yet. My apologies. Give me one quick second. Over 400 people on the live stream already. And I'm sitting here going, oh, let's keep moving. And somebody said, please send the links. I'm like, oops, my bad. One second. I'm going to do that right now. I don't want to be, I don't want to jinx it, as we would say in Cayman, that Facebook has been behaving lately. So on the Facebook page, we've been relatively easy to find. It's actually been showing up right on the page. So maybe they worked out whatever kink that was. So let me see here now. Sending the links for Facebook and YouTube. And of course, we're also live on Instagram. Good morning to all of our Instagram listeners. And thank you guys so much. So many of you are truly amazing. And I'm reminded often of what makes this community what it is, and why so many people come here, they overstay, they marry people that they don't even like in order to remain in this community. And yes, it is partly because of the economic benefits that they get in Cayman. And I'm sure that's probably the number one factor. But second, right behind that, is also the fact that we are an amazing community. We're all about community. We rally together. You know, we're not perfect. Sometimes we get on each other's nerves, yes. But when it matters, Caymanian people show up, they support, they're gonna, you know, the community, when I say Caymanian people, I mean everybody, is gonna come together today and go out there this morning. Some of you have been sending me some comments criticizing non-coverage of the situation by other media, or barely any coverage. And I'm not going to get into that. They are going to cover it however they see fit. Okay? That ain't got nothing to do with me. I will keep my thoughts to myself. You can certainly share them with me. That's fine. But I'm not going to publicly say anything, because everybody has their way of doing things. Everybody has their own journey, I suppose. And one of the things that I think by now you've discovered about CMR, good, bad, or whatever in between, we talk it out. We talk about it. We share it. Not everybody likes talking about things, but we are talkers here. And it's not meant to upset anyone or insult anyone that we're talking about, you know, Andrew Harris and the fact that he is missing now, going on into the third day. This is about community. This is about understanding that these things happen, whatever the outcome is, and we're still, we are 100% remaining as positive as we possibly can. But with every passing day, you know, the conversation in our heads does shift a little bit. So don't take insult to the fact that we are having discussions like this, like we did yesterday. Don't take insult that we're having discussions around mental health. We're not professionals. I want to make this very, very clear. And some of you have said to me, Sandy, I'd like for you to come and see me and sit down with me. I can only see you and sit down with you as someone with a listening ear. I am not a mental health professional. And so what I really want you to do, if you're really struggling, is you need to reach out to the mental health professionals. They are the ones, folks, who are trained to, you know, do what they do best, okay? They are the ones who have the necessary professional, my God, look at this accident. I'm going to show you guys this in a second. This is so crazy. They're the ones who have the professional qualifications to put you in the right, on the right path, if you will. I don't have that, and I'm not pretending that I have that. I'm not sitting here pretending that I'm some therapist. That is certainly not what is going on here. We're just having a conversation as friends, as acquaintances, as people who just want to talk. And what I can tell you after yesterday's show, it is obvious that there are so many people in our community who just want to talk. You know, even on public radio. Some of the people who called in yesterday, I don't know them. They probably don't know me outside of the show. And yet we connected yesterday as a community. And so many of you sent me such amazing messages afterwards that I know that connection was real and authentic. There was no ears about it. Nobody is pretending to be something that they're not. There was just a connection there. And, when these things happen very organically as they do, we just go with it here on this program. We don't have a script that we are going to stick to no matter what. And we're sitting here reading questions and, saying the show must go on. I can tell you that if we had guests on yesterday, we would have canceled them because this conversation that we are having, or that we had yesterday, and perhaps that we will continue to have, needed to be had. And I think that as we discussed yesterday's program, that became, more and more evident throughout the program and even afterwards. So good morning, Ms. Morna. Thank you so much. Yes, we're going to continue to put nothing but positivity out in the universe for some good news today. Strong Wilt and Jean, Wee, Miss Rumelia, good morning. Are you still in the BRAC, Miss Rumelia? Miss Corrine, I have some good news for you. Listen, a couple years ago, you guys know that I love local mangoes. I'm a little bit of a fanatic when it comes to local mangoes, in part because I spent 15 years of my life away from Cayman. And when I left, I was 8 years old. I had just turned 9, same age as my daughter now. The other day she was asking me, Mom, can I move away to like Tampa like you did? And I said, well, why would you want to do that? That wasn't really my choice. And she's like, well, you did it. But she doesn't understand the context of how all that happened. So I said, I did it to have a chance at a better life. I said, you, on the other hand, have an amazing life. You've got, not patting myself on the back, but you've got 2 amazing parents. You have a good home that you're growing up in. We try to give you a good education. You're in a stable environment. I said, Mom didn't have those things. And that's why I left. I didn't leave because my life was great. I left because I was tethering on going down a path of no return. And I explained that to her as we were getting into the car when she had this thought, kids think they don't understand. And so she said to me, wow. So Mom, you didn't have a really good life as a kid? I said, not really. I had to be honest with her. I said, yeah, not really. And I said, that's why I'm working so hard to make sure that you have a better life, a better outcome. And that's the truth. I mean, I don't age appropriate conversations. I can't tell her everything, but she needs to understand that it certainly wasn't all roses and whatever, not at all. And the next generation tries to do better, right? That's the fight. That's the real fight. Is a lot of us come from dysfunctionality. We come from this culture of chaos, chaotic homes, violent homes, all sorts of abuse, alcoholism, maybe even drug use. And so the only hope we have is for the next generation to turn that around. But you see, it's not easy to turn around, Don't make nobody fool you about that. I mean, I got to be honest. You only are really able to do that when you know there is actually a different path. Because had I stayed in it and that's all I knew, how would I be able to turn around? How would I know any differently? You got to get help. You got to see that there is a different path that actually exists out there. And that is the greatest hope for, I think, all of us, right? Our children give us hope. The next generation gives us hope for a better life, better decisions. And we have to try to work towards that. I believe that change is possible. I mean, a lot of people say, well, a leopard can't change. Is it a leopard? Can't change its stripes. But I don't believe that. I think it's hard as heck, but it is possible with the right tools. And unfortunately, most people don't have the right tools and they don't know how to equip themselves with the right tools. And perhaps that is what, in part, we can try to do through this program and even through CMR TV as we build out the shows that we're going to have. There will be shows around mental health and wellness and support and physical health and wellness and all these amazing things. Morning, Miss Felicia. Benji's in the house. Damaris is here. Vierka, I haven't seen you. Buenos dias, mamacita. ¿Cómo estás? X Factor Fitness K-Man. How you doing, honey child? Miss Lucille Forbes in the house. YouTuber says, come now, Sandra. How are you going to put your hand in the naughty corner when you're feeding the habit? Well, I don't feed it as much as you think, but he knows when there's brownies. It's like he's got a super sense. When there are brownies, he comes running. I haven't made any in a while. And there's a young man who's been begging me for some. He's like, can I get some of those? And I said, yes, honey child. So I might do some on Monday for him. He can take him to work for a little snack. Thank you, Leslie. So nice to see you. She said, good morning from Vero Beach, sending love to you and everyone. We appreciate that. Beautiful Leslie. Lavana is here. Hope you're doing well. Look at Melita. Miss Beulah. Oh, so good to see so many wonderful Caymanians. You know what? I think this could be, we set a record every single morning for having the most diverse listenership. I'm serious about that. We have more Caymanians here in the morning than anywhere else gathered. We have more overseas Caymanians than anywhere else gathered, but we also have our diverse listenership of the expat community as well. They tune in from all over the world. Barbara, windy day in windy, rainy London. Oh my goodness. Miss Charlene, West Bay in the house, represented. Kimmy says, good morning, Sandy. My prayers and thoughts are with Andrell's family, friends, and coworkers, and the entire Cayman Islands community. Good morning, Miss Debbie. Miss Marjorie says she's at home waiting on her fasting blood test to be done. The nurse is on her way. Oh. KK, we'll answer that here in a second. Yes, we're coming to that, Miss Charlene, don't worry. Jean says, I'm grateful for CMR community every day and look forward to our 7:33 a.m. gathering every morning. Miss Romelia putting me in the naughty corner with her comment. She said, did anyone get a call saying that CMR was starting late this morning? Oh, Miss Romelia, she's like, go to the naughty corner. Yes, she keeping me on my tippy toes. Did I ever tell you guys that there was a time when I used to walk on my tippy toes as a little kid? I don't know for how long, because time is skewed in a child's mind, right? But apparently, this is a Caymanian story now. If you know, you know. When we were at Miss Gleda's, one of my sisters, I'm thinking it was probably Susan, she's closest in age to me, told me something about some duppy or some story that some duppy was going to get me if I didn't walk on my tippy toes. Well, I believed the duppy story, honey chill. And I remember this. This is so weird because there's a lot of childhood memories that I simply don't have. They do not exist. But this one, for some reason, has stuck and exists. And I remember walking around on my tippy toes because if I didn't, some duppy was going to get me. Child, those are the things I guess that kids do. Ms. Marjorie says his mother was so nasty to you yesterday. You're only trying to help. Thank you, Sandy. I'd be lost without you. About what's happening out there. I listen to you every morning. Thank you very much. And a lot of you reached out about that, and it was interesting what some of you had to say. I don't know her or anything. And in fact, I did not even know. This is how, I think sometimes you guys assume that I know more than I know in terms of connections and people. The young man, I think he's actually, unfortunately, in jail now for quite some time. I can't remember if this charge is for murder or what, but that Belafonte Jr., that would be her son and Andrel's half brother. I never knew that. So I don't know sometimes the connectivity between people. So I do find it interesting when people call me, especially after the show, and give me all the behind the, like, this is who this person is, and this is where they're from, and this is how they're connected. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I'm not really going to address it any further than I did yesterday. She assumed that she knew certain things about me from over 25 years ago, and the facts are not there. And so, but listen, did I do things in that situation that I am not proud of and that were wrong? Absolutely. Let's make this very, very clear. Okay? Because I think there are people who don't really listen to the show and they don't really follow the show. And so maybe they don't understand this. I don't sit here as perfection. Nowhere near it. I may be the most flawed of us all. I don't sit here as a person who is trying to get a pat on the back or who needs any recognition, any accolades from anybody. Okay? I sit in my truth every single day. Maybe the only thing that separates me from even some people that we features on the show is that I'm trying to do better. So every day there's a reset. And every day I make decisions. I'm like, okay, today we're going to try to make better decisions than we did tomorrow. Hopefully we learned something from tomorrow, right? So we sit here and we have conversations. I have my thoughts and ideas. You have your thoughts and ideas. There's an exchange that happens between us. And even when maybe I sit on my high horse a little bit, I don't want you to think that this comes from a place of being conceited or I'm better than anybody. I am no better than nobody, honey child. I know who I am, and I know where I've come from. And I'm happy to own up to things that I have done, right? But if we're going to keep it the cold hard truth, let's just make sure we get the facts straight. So the little that she said yesterday was not factual. And somebody said, oh, wow, that's been on somebody's chest for a long time, over 25 years ago. And I said, well, I guess that's key man for you. It is what it is. And I'm giving her a lot of grace because I had people all the way overseas reaching out to me. Oh my God, Sandy, you're mellowing out. And I said, actually, I've always been a very mellow person, but the coin can flip. And when you see the coin flip, it's 90% of the time a very deliberate flipping of the coin. I'm like, you're not going to step out on me. And then I show you the other side of me. Because I'm a 360 person, aren't we all? We all have a moment when, we can tell you about your behind. And I didn't flip the coin yesterday because it wasn't the time, the place, or the circumstances. Sometimes you just have to give people grace when you know they're going through something. It's easy to take it out of me. Okay, I'm okay. A lot of you, I had neighbors call me, Sandy, are you okay? And thank you so much for checking in, because that says a lot about who you are to even call and say, are you okay? We heard this exchange. And what I can say to you is we're all human. We all have, obviously your moments and stuff. And I don't want to get emotional this morning. I'm trying to, but I am thankful every single morning that a lot of the things that I have been through, I think that's why I'm such a resilient person. I don't know, because I also know a lot of people who've been through more than me and are not as resilient. So I can't exactly explain it, but I thank God every single morning that I am made in the way that I am made, that I am nobody's bulletproof. Trust me. Nobody, you can throw some daggers at me, I'm sure, that would have show the emotional cracks really, really easily. But I am resilient to most things, and I am resilient to most criticisms. And so this isn't an easy job, and I'm reminded a lot of times in different circumstances how challenging this job can be. And what I will tell you is, because people are asking me, well, Sandy, gosh, you hear all this stuff and you see all this stuff, and people are always, don't you get depressed? And I had a young man yesterday who called me off air and was talking about, he was abused right here in Cayman by a teacher. And he was talking about how that has changed the course of his life, and that he suffers from depression. And that at work, his boss one time said something that was so insensitive, like he needed to take some time off, some mental health days. And when the boss saw him, he's like, I'm sick and tired of y'all using mental health as an excuse, and nothing wrong with you. And, that's the thing with mental health. You can look at a person and you don't see the mental health scars on their physical body. So you judge, you see them being very, very functional, still working, still doing this, still doing that. And you judge them that they don't have any problems. Well, as we can see from yesterday, there are a lot of people, I was using their celebrity examples, they jump up and they go to work and they do all these things because, you don't see it. You don't see the mental health. Don't judge though. So thank you for everyone who checked in. Thank you for all your phone calls and all of your messages. And I am very, very grateful. And what I would say is that I remain committed to conversation, really. And so I'm here and I'm okay. Thank you so much. One person said the following yesterday morning. They said, I wanted to reach out to you personally about this morning's show. We, the people, know you and your platform keep us informed on many levels of interest. The topic this morning was exceptional and reached numerous individuals, and it is sincerely appreciated. What I wish to convey is informing the people of Andrel missing was extremely important. Sharing with the listeners so that we can keep a keen eye out for Andrel. Whatever it is he's going through, we all want him to be okay. As with Andrel's mother calling in, she is no doubt beside herself with worry. However, everything she spewed was completely unnecessary. It also showed a level of mentality. She did and does have a right to support her child, but she did not have to take it to the next level, the level of being ugly. I'm sorry she did, and it was heard in your change in voice, as I know you were and are wanting to be helpful, caring, and kind. Those who matter, know. Again, I'm sorry. We are very thankful to you and for you and all that you say, but more importantly, all that you do. Have a good day, Sandy. Thank you so much. What an amazing message. I want to really thank this gentleman for sending this through. And sorry, trying to help Stacy here with connect to the internet. So we go Wi-Fi. Where's your Wi-Fi? Hold on, might be in the others. Oh yeah, it's here. All right, so yes, this one is yeah, you can just put in this code now. So you hold this down to lock in the caps. There we go. All right, MVSYAN little S3. All right, try joining that. Let's see. All right, you still need to charge this more. Take the
no.
Take the little thing on the counter.
The heavy one.
Say it was heavy. If you take that, that'll charge it the quickest.
The one that shaped like a square?
Yeah, it's in my bag on the ottoman by the door. My apologies. She needed the portable Wi-Fi. So yeah, thank you so much for this and all of the messages and calls of concern. And I don't want to say anything more about this because this isn't even about me, you know? Thank you, Mr. George says, good morning, Mama Sandy. I pray for CMR to never quit. Aw, God bless you and that you live 100 years with good health. Wow, thank you so much. From your lips to God's ears. I'm all about living to 100, but with good health. Nobody wants to live to 100 and, you know, be down and under. I want to be still talking and walking and thinking in the whole 9 yards. Oh, what a beautiful day. Good morning. Good morning, Jim. So good to see you. Morning, Miss Cherry. How are you? See some new names in the chat this morning. Delcy and Ben joining us from Florida, Miramar. Thank you. Oh, Corrine, girl, I forgot. I was going to tell Corrine some good news. She's like, hello, I'm sitting here waiting for the good news. So couple years ago, I was talking about mangoes. I love local mangoes. And a couple years ago, Corrine heard my cry for, does anybody have any mangoes? She said, girl, I got a mango tree. Come west, babe, I'm going to give you some. Remember that, Corrine? Marla and I drove all the way to the west and you gave me some mangoes. And out of that, I can't remember if you gave me the seed, but out of that, we planted a mango. Girl, that little mango tree has grown up and bear fruit this year. It has given me not a whole lot, just on one side about maybe 7 or 8 mangoes. And I wasn't sure because they look a little bit different. So I'm like, Marlon, I don't think that's the mango tree, the mangoes that I want. Because, you know, people do hybrids and all kind of stuff. I'm like, I don't think that's it. So he's like, it better be because I ain't planting no more mango trees around here. So anyway, I took one off day before yesterday. Yes, ma'am. And I did the sniff test. Because, it doesn't have, this is no, this one not gonna work. Take the one on the counter, it should have this one. This is a different thing, that's USB-C. Just a different power thing. So they're not gonna work with that. So, yes. So I did the sniff test and I can tell you the sniff test was, I was like, smell the mango. It smells like my mango because my mango smells different than other mangoes. And I was like, it smells like it. Now we got to taste it. We got to do the taste test. And girl, I took out my little knife. Marlon was sitting there very pensive, biting nails. Took out my knife. I peeled it, still a little bit more on the green side. I could have probably left it another day or so. And I cut the side, got my seasoned salt and my black pepper, and I bit into it. And girl, mwah, that is, but they're like a weird shape. They're actually a little bit bigger than a lot of the local mangoes I like, but I'm okay with that because it is very meaty. So I can't wait till next year. Maybe I'll have twice as many on that tree. So I'm going to take care of that tree. I'm going to water that tree. I'm going to hug that tree. I'm going to talk to that tree because, girl, this is the first time I've ever owned a local mango tree, and I'm all here for it. So thank you, Corrine, for that mango. We planted the seed and look, yeah, bearing fruit all these years later. Lucky Body from, is it Birmingham, UK? Yes, honey child. Matiza, good morning, joining us from Greece. Oh, are you one of the people, Matiza, who's on this Greek trip? I know there's some Caymanian in Greece at the moment. Oh, beautiful. I went a couple of years ago and I absolutely loved it. Morning, Johan. We put you in the naughty corner already, honey child. Sarah says, good morning. I know this is probably obvious. Has the RCIPS checked with the airports and airlines to see if Andrel has left the island? So let's talk about it. Who's Susan? Strong Will says Susan. My sister Susan? Which Susan? Anyway, oh, Belafonte's not her son? But somebody said that that was her son as well. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know these people. So that isn't her son? I'm confused. Oh, she has a son for the father, but not the junior. The junior isn't her son. Okay. Thank you for the clarification, KK. Because I was going to say, I never knew that was his half brother, so it isn't. Oh, what a bunch of confusion. Anyway. All right, let's move on. Yeah, strong-willed. I don't, like I said, I don't know these people, so. Yes, thank you, Donald. I see now. So that's not her son. His mother is Dion Johnson from Northside. Oh, and this one also lives in Northside. Maybe that's why people are confusing it. But thank you guys for setting it straight. We don't want to get nothing wrong, honey chill, because nobody don't need to be calling me again today. Jason says we're all human. Some just don't know how to take accountability. And listen, that's the point really in life, you know? Yeah, you're going to mess up and sometimes make really bad decisions, but take accountability. Thanks, Gabby. Jacqueline says, hi, Miss Sandra. Here I am, joining again from the USA. I was raised in the Cayman Islands as a child, and so again, I do apologize for my sister's behavior. Oh, thank you. Yesterday, we were not raised in that manner. So again, please forgive us. I joined because of my nephew's disappearance. I really appreciate how you dealt with it. Thank you again. Thank you, Miss Jacqueline. I really, really appreciate that, really and truly. All right, let's talk about what we know, Miss Jacqueline. Unfortunately, Andrel is still missing. I went out yesterday where the search party is at Pedro. They were searching down by the quarry. And the boat's Coast Guard is in the water. They're trying to look around to see if they can see anything from that angle. The helicopter went up. I think, Jacqueline, a lot of efforts are being put, a lot of effort is being put into finding Andrel. We know that the RCIPS has put out a plea. Even this morning at 8:30 in 10 minutes, that's why Miss Stacy is getting ready. She is going out there with others, right, to help to look. So they have put out a plea this morning. If you're able to join this morning, please, 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 the more hands on deck, the better. The more eyes out there, the better. Because, one person might see something that somebody else doesn't see. And so this is why, if you can join in the search efforts, it's important. 8:30 this morning, members of the public who want to help to search, because yesterday morning, none of these notices were out and you guys were asking me and I was messaging the police and I'm like, can people come out? Some people just went out there anyway. They're like, listen, we are just coming. We don't care what the police saying. We want to find him. And so, I saw a number of people out there, community officers, the police have set up, the RCIPS have set up their headquarters at the Cayman Islands Baptist Church. And big shout out to the Cayman Islands Baptist Church for allowing them to use their facility there. It's so important to have a place where they can, have a little bit of air conditioning. It's very hot out there. So if you're going out there, please take water. They did have some water and some Gatorade the police were providing, but take your own water if you can. Take a hat, put on your sunscreen, because we don't want anybody having any kind of heat stroke or anything whilst out there today. But yes, the RCIPS is asking if you can come out and join them this morning, even if you don't get there right at 8:30, because like I said, that's just a few minutes away. That's okay. Get there when you can. And hopefully we can get some live updates from the location as well. But they are looking everywhere. So yesterday afternoon, we got some additional information because it's helpful to know, what he was wearing and so on. So the last footage of him, which was taken from a CCTV camera, showed Andrell with a blue shirt on. He was wearing a blue shirt, black pants, and black shoes. It looks like he was in the vicinity of Savannah gas station / Wendy's, like kind of in that area here in Savannah. My understanding is that, he might have been in the vehicle with the girlfriend. They might have had some words or whatever, and he just decided to walk away from the situation. He got out the car. All indications are that he was walking towards the Pedro area. I also understand that the phone pings put him in the Pedro area as well. And so that is why the focus has largely been in that area, because the police have every reason to believe that that is where he is. There's no, unfortunately, there is no footage of him leaving the area. So they think he's still in the area. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know that the Pedro area was so complicated with the quarry, and somebody said there are even caves down there. I didn't know any of that. I don't really go exploring, I suppose. But yes, the terrain there, even beyond Pedro, it's like thick bush. I tell people, listen, Cayman is small, but the terrain can be very rugged as well. So it's, kind of going in the bush and all that kind of stuff. So yes, so please wear comfortable shoes, because, once again, you need foot protection. You're going to be walking for quite some time, and so forth. Okay. So his car, he was not driving a car. So this was a situation where he was dropped off. Like he was with, I understand, a young lady in a car, and he exited the car. And then after that would have been on foot. So there is no car. So they're checking everything. They're asking people, and they'll debrief them this morning when they go on location. But they're saying to them, listen, if you see a house with like CCTV cameras up, what do you call them now? The Ring doorbell cameras. They might have caught something. And if you live in that area, folks, if you live anywhere from the top of Pedro Road all the way to the bottom, please check your camera footage. You may have inadvertently caught him walking by, and that could very well assist the police in narrowing down like the path that he may have taken. You see? So check your footage. I know a lot of people now have Ring cameras. If you even have a camera on your car, because you know the ones that we've been doing, we get more inventory next week. They actually catch cameras. They actually catch, because they're hardwired, they catch stuff even when you're not in the vehicle at night. Yeah. So they pick up motion, and then they will, record that minute or whatever of motion. So check these things if you're in the area, folks. All right. And, again, everyone is remaining very, very positive. We don't have anything definitive. And until we know anything definitive, let's not speculate, and let's just remain positive. And the objective is to bring Andrell home safely and to return him to his family. That is our sincere hope and prayer. So Sophia is asking if they're checking any abandoned homes. I think that they would be checking everything. His cell phone. So what we know, Katie Ann, is he did communicate with people at some point the first night that he would have been missing. I mean, I heard up to like 4 o'clock in the morning, a message was received by one individual. But yes, they have from almost immediately when it was reported that he was missing, his phones are being pinged by the authorities. So they have a last ping location, but his phone or phones, because I understand he actually may have 2 phones, but turned off. So you can't ping a phone that's turned off. Once it's turned off, it's not going to be receiving any sort of signal. So Lucky Body wants to know, can he survive out in the wilderness without food or water? How long? I mean, I don't know. The other thing the police did disclose is he did have a bottle of alcohol. They can't say whether it was like a wine bottle or whatever, but he did have a bottle of alcohol. And so they're saying, like, if you see a bottle of alcohol discarded, like, let us know, because that could be evidence. Don't touch it or anything. Just tell the different crews. They're trying to have a police officer, I think, in each kind of main search group, but some people are kind of splintering off on their own to search. If you see anything like that, if you see clothing that has been discarded in the bushes, if you see cigarette butts or anything like that, presume it could be from him. They would have to DNA test it and stuff, but don't like go grabbing it up or whatever. The police, the crime scene van, I showed you guys this, I think yesterday. I can show you again, but the operational van is there on location. And so they are actually, I think in a position to collect in their evidence bags any evidence that is available. So don't compromise what it is that the police is doing. So yesterday, this is I guess the quarry is public or private property. And so as you see here, this is where initially we had gone down in that area and where the search teams were. And then when we came back out, they re-secured the gate from the quarry company, those people who own that land. Lots of community officers there. Anyone who was joining the search, they're going to put your name on a sheet of paper because they don't want anybody going there and getting lost out with the search party, and then God knows they had to launch another search, right? So they actually have check-in where they're going to be taking down your name and making sure that everyone who's involved in the search is being as safe as possible themselves. All right. So this is the Cayman Islands Baptist Church down Pedro Road. Again, thank them so much. By the way, a big shout out to the Baptist Church. They had a little garage sale this weekend. They were fundraising for some of their church events, and they actually had some items left over. And yesterday they decided to just give them away. So we posted up on our social media, and I think a lot of you saw that and went and got like a whole bag full of stuff. They were just giving away everything else. So thank you to the Cayman Islands Baptist Church for that. And so they're using the church as the operational headquarters for this search and rescue. Okay. Miss Lucille says, I'm so down today. Stay positive, Miss Lucille. Yes, stay positive, stay positive. They check his girlfriend. Was she the last one with him? Miss Morna, yes, the police are doing all of these things. We're going to leave the policing up to them. But I can tell you that, yes, they are talking to anyone that, was connected to him, people who were close to him, their close friends, who were just, best friends, good friends and stuff. All of those people are involved in assisting the police along with the family as much as they possibly can, providing them with that information. Gabby's saying, are you sure he didn't leave the island? Well, I mean, how would he have left? By any of the ports? I can assure you that the police, again, have very, very good reason to believe, probably 99.999999% that he's in this area somewhere. And they're doing, listen, this is what Mr. Kurt Walton was saying the other day, right? He said, look, everybody wants to be a detective. Everybody wants to be a police. We're actually the ones who are trained. And we criticize the RCIPS a lot. Okay. Sometimes it's deserved, but they also do, to his credit, good job. Because remember now, folks, that's why he mentioned how many murders they put away. And it's not amateur hour to put a murderer behind bars when they have really good lawyers. So they're used to collecting forensic evidence. They're used to, carrying out searches. And so, yes, logically, from a policing perspective, they have a command team. They would have gotten all of that information. They would have verified it. They have his computers. They've checked his apartment. They've checked the work computer. So a lot of you yesterday were saying to me, oh, but Sandy, we see that he was logging on, and I gave you guys a glimmer of hope. Like maybe he took a little break and now he's back on. Well, I dare say from what I understand that would not have been him. That would have been the police simply accessing his computers, and he probably had like the WhatsApp computer version installed. And so that began to show that messages were read. So someone's asking about tracking dogs. I didn't actually see any I didn't actually see any dogs out there yesterday. And to be honest, I don't know that we have any tracking dogs. I mean, I know we have dogs that sniff out other stuff, but I'm not so sure about people. And, these dogs have to be specifically trained. So tracking dogs are specifically trained for that purpose. And, so I don't know that we have any on island. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never heard that, that we have. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Someone says, That sounds right up Hattie Street. I've reached out to, oh, okay, that's another message. Okay. All right. Good morning. Just tuning in briefly. You provide an invaluable service to the community. Never ever doubt that. Pray you and your family and those you embrace have an enjoyable weekend. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. All right. Just trying to see if there's anything else. All right. Yes, please. All right. So, all right. Yes, somebody corrected me. They said it's a leopard can't change its spots, not stripes. I was going to say, thank you for the correction, because I'm like, I don't think leopards have stripes. What is it that has stripes? Tigers? Lord Jesus, my poor brain. Okay. All right. Thank you. Danny also corrected me. He's like, nope, leopards have spots, honey child. Okay, let me see here now. All right, so let's park it there for just a minute. And I want to go ahead and talk about there was a really bad accident this, I guess, in the wee hours. I don't know what time of night it was, but it was still dark out. And so I'm going to share some of that footage with you guys here this morning. Crazy drivers again out there. So that's a good question Shay is asking about the Find My Device. Yes, I think most people have that on their devices, but no, if the phone isn't on, I don't think you can find the device, right? So, yeah. All right. Zebras have stripes. Okay. What a mess. I need to go back to the second grade, clearly. Okay. There is a closed U section of road behind the cemetery, as well as at East End off Beach Bay Road, and where the Ironshire ends, where they pick Wilkes. Okay, Miss Andrea. Cindy says it depends on what kind of phone it is. Oh, you can have it off and it can still track it. That would be good. KK says even if a phone is turned off or dead, it would be working all the same. Oh, really? Okay, well, gee, that's good to know. So I'm sure the police must know that, but tell me something. When you're tracking it, is it not, I just noticed that one of my lights was off, sorry. It has to be the person who has to then log in to their own account, right? It can't just be a random person tracking you. So I guess if the police can get access to his Apple ID or Samsung ID or whatever that's called, then maybe that's a possibility. But I do know, like I said, that the last ping location that they have also puts him in the Pedro area. All right, someone asking the cell phone number to call in at 936-2626. And don't forget that you can also call on WhatsApp. We do have toll free for float callers locally. And then we also, oh, give me 1 second. This is a WhatsApp call. Let me open WhatsApp. Hold on, honey jam. Uh-oh. Call again. I was opening up that the app on the computer. Sorry about that. All right, so thank you so much. So we have confirmation, by the way, that next week, Friday, okay, we are going to have Dr. Carlos in the studio with us, clinical psychologist from Florida. And he's thinking about doing a show on CMR, so let's show him some support. And he's going to be coming on the program. Ooh, I'm excited. I hear he's amazing, an amazing therapist. So can we have a free therapy session next week, Thursday, right here on radio? Let's do it. We'll set some ground rules, some perimeters. What stays in the therapist, I mean, we're live on radio. Then obviously, yeah, that's going to be awesome. Okay, so make sure you guys tune in next Friday. He'll be here in the morning. I'm so excited about that. That's fantastic. Yeah, he's thinking about doing a show, like a call-in show where you guys can call him and ask him questions, take his advice and all that good stuff. So yes, the police are on it when it comes to all the phone stuff. As far as I'm aware, you can see that they have the helicopter was up yesterday as well. So this is a picture of the shoreline there. So that you can see, I mean, the topography of Cayman is so incredibly interesting, I must tell you. But yes, they are, checking all of these areas and stuff. And like I said, the helicopter was up. I think yesterday they said that they could use some drone footage and stuff. And some people who know how to operate that. But the police also have a drone. So, fantastic. Everything, all the technology that we can deploy to find him, that's what's going to be done. But you see how thick the bush is in certain areas? It's pretty crazy. Yes, and I know, Miss Jackie, that, like I said, from the first report, I think they pretty much got on the phone end of things very, very quickly. So Mello, I think you might have missed what we said earlier about the car. So he was not driving. He was basically in somebody else's car and went off on foot. So there's no car there for, he didn't have a car at the location at all. So Paul says if they've been using drones. So yesterday, I don't think during the day anybody was out with a drone. I heard the day before someone did have a drone, but yes, if you have a drone, and I know a lot of the newer drones have, they're very, very quiet, because thank you, Miss Brenda, for bringing up yesterday the question about, potential noise and stuff. They're extremely quiet. You can't hear them, and they go, my gosh, they go so far up. And then you can actually zoom in with them as well. Marlon has one, and I don't personally know how to operate a drone. I would probably crash that in 2 seconds. But I was saying to myself yesterday, this is probably something I should learn. This is where your kids who do all these video games, they have better dexterity skills than old folks like me. So they're more likely, to be able to control things like drones and so forth. All right, so the last known sighting was when he exited the car, and that's the footage that they have, and they're showing people who show up for the search the actual picture that they took like a snapshot from the CCTV footage. And you see, this is where in the US, Cayman policing and American policing is very, very different. Because I shouldn't be the one telling you what I've heard, which technically already is secondhand and hearsay. although some of what I've heard have come from, I know the sources. The police should have a briefing. And, I'm so glad Police Commissioner came on this week. So many people were listening to him. But I do think that they need a different approach to PR and how to deal with the public. If this was in America, from the second they started the search, they would have had a little podium set up, done a briefing at the location, their headquarters, whatever, and they would have said, here's the last known picture. They would have put that out in the public, not just to the people who were there, right? They would have said, we've been searching for him. Launch parties are searching, come out and help us. Here's what we need equipment-wise. Bring as many drones as possible. This is how it's going to be organized. We know he was wearing this. We are searching in this area because everything points to this area. It is just shocking to me that we can't get there yet. Any missing person right now, incident in the States, you're going to see this sort of response. Only in Cayman do we have this delay, and we have no press conferences. They don't do press conferences really, hardly ever, around missing people and that sort of thing. And I'm like, why not? I don't know. I hope and pray for some changes to come, because I think we need it. We really, really need it. All right. Oh boy. But nonetheless, when you go there, they will give the volunteers some sort of a briefing. Okay, so you can expect to get that information. Like right now, I would love to be able to get the police commissioner on the phone and say, talk to us. What a mess. Jason says, I agree 100%. Brian says they have Amber Alert text message systems in the States. That's right, because sometimes I'm there and I'm driving the interstate and I'll see the signage, Amber Alert. They're texting people's phones. This is what's going on. Jasara says, I agree. It might remind somebody of something, because it's not just the people. You'd be surprised, the people in Cayman, who oftentimes are disconnected. Like they're not watching the show. They're not watching news. They're not, and putting that out there in the wider community can be so critical, so essential. Like, okay, this picture was taken Tuesday night at, whatever time. So people can go, oh, wait a minute. I was driving down Pedro Road at that time. Like you literally could have been driving by him. Imagine this scenario. You're driving by him and you have a dash cam in your car. Your car might have caught him and it didn't occur to you. You didn't know. But if the police had a briefing, narrowing it down, you could go back to your dash cam. That would have been the time I was returning home from church or work, or I went out jogging. Let me go check my dash cam camera. Let me check the footage at the Ring doorbell or whatever. All right. Good morning, Troy. He says, especially when he works for Cayman Compass. Now, I don't want to say too much about the Compass situation, but there's something different there. And I'm going to see if the Compass at any point says anything. They probably won't. But I don't know. A lot of people did reach out. Like I said, I'm not trying to criticize any other media, but they were saying that how they even said on yesterday's news that he was missing, it was like a 15-second read. And it was like not the top story. on their morning show and daybreak show. They went on to like talk about other stuff first. And then they were like, oh, by the way, you know, Andrel's missing. If you see him, call the police, and moved on quickly. And I was like, it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. So, yeah. But Jason, the thing is, I don't think we have any dogs. You see, this is what the police could even tell us. We don't have dogs here who can do that. And that's why we're relying on so many people to come out. So divers in the water. I mean, we just have so many questions. We have a lot of questions. Okay. I don't know. All right. Keyman 49er says you're absolutely 100% right about the difference in policing. You know, I know that we're British, but even the British, don't they have, I mean, I don't know. I don't watch much British news anymore, but don't they have press conferences with big cases? I mean, I don't know. Carrie says we don't care about the average folks here. We only care about the rich elites. Well, I don't think that that's true. I think we do care, but I think the way that the authorities handle stuff is a little bit different. And it certainly would not be my recommendation if I was their PR manager. Boats are out. So we do know, Andrea, that Coast Guard was in the water. The helicopter was up. I don't know about divers per se, but the boats were definitely in the water there yesterday. So 49er says, just thinking out of the box, could you go out there and put a podium to reach the people? They don't even want us on location recording anything or doing anything from the site in terms of pictures and stuff like that. So, you know, we had our correspondent Elizabeth there yesterday, and they were telling her, no, you can't take any pictures or anything. And I'm thinking, we can report from scenes just like standing up next to Pedro doing a report. Like, that's normal. That's what media does. So it's really weird. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Anyway, what are you going to do? We make recommendations and hope that somebody listens. Tartarian, talk about protecting our coastlines. Illegal people are living amongst us. Well, we know that for sure. A case was solved a couple years ago. Phone was off and it was found in the water. In the water, wow. Okay. Maybe the MP for that area can send out messages to ask people to check their home cameras and cars. Well, I think that, again, just how Caymanians operate, the political arm doesn't tend to get involved in policing matters. We haven't seen a statement from any of them, obviously. And that's why I'm here as kind of like, go out there, volunteer. We did a mid-afternoon show yesterday after I'd gone out there and got a feel for what was going on. I shared what information I was aware of, you know. So somebody said, old people like you, I had a good smile at this comment in the midst of this sad time. Draconian policing tactics. Don't believe he is in the immediate area. The current is too strong for him to still be there if he's in the water. He's maybe down by like spots. But that's why the helicopter would go up, because the helicopter can do the coastline. You know, the helicopter is able to do a whole thing, a whole view of the coastline, right? Yes. So the person says, sometimes I feel like he might be on land. I keep praying and asking God to give everyone who is searching for guidance to search in the right places at the right time. So the person says, so all that you suggested about police briefing and other things that could easily help this search is not being done. Imagine media persons missing, and yet the media, other than your show, perhaps Radio Cayman as well, is extremely quiet about this. And I wonder if this would be the same if it had happened to a different person in class. Oh, sorry. They said paraphrase it. Yeah, I mean, I heard that Radio Cayman didn't mention it on the evening news at all. It's weird. I don't know. So, okay, we are going to place a phone call now to, let me just see. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so let's see if we can place this phone call. Give me 1 second here. All right. Give me a second here. Mhm. All right, so we okay, let's see. All right, so we do have someone who wants to call us in relation to this. Someone says there's definitely a class system here. They do care more about the elites. I certainly am not saying that there isn't. What I'm saying is, let me see if I can call from this number. I don't remember if I have let's see. Okay. I don't know if this number, I think we can do overseas calls. I hope. All right, give me a second. Let's see. Oh.
We're sorry, the number dialed is not in service. Please check the number or try your call again.
Oh, did I just dial the wrong number? Oh gosh, hold on. I sure did. I mixed up some numbers. Hold on. Okay, we're gonna make a phone call. 1 second. All right, so thank you so much. Karina says, I think that there is a sniffer dog. Oh, again, police, let us know. These are some questions that the public generally has. Oh, radio is off. Give me 1 quick second. Let me trip the radio back in. My apologies. We had gone too quiet there. So give me 1 second. Let's throw in a quick little commercial or something.
For the past 58 years, CUC has strived to be more than just an electricity provider. We have sought to be a foundational company. We give back to our community, and with the hard work and dedication of our employees, we have built and maintained one of the safest and most reliable electricity grids in the region. As we all look to the future, we at CUC want the Grand Cayman community to have confidence that our commitment to you will continue. Join us as we continue this journey together at empoweringcayman.com.
Great news, Cayman! Tim Hortons is finally open and ready to serve you. Start your day right with our delicious all-day breakfast, or grab a box of our famous Timbits and a dozen donuts for a sweet treat. Need a quick pick-me-up? Swing by our drive-thru for your favorite espresso drink anytime. We're open weekdays from 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. on the weekends, closing 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, with 2 entrances at the Shamrock Road Roundabout in Red Bay. It's time for Tim's.
Crichton Properties is one of Cayman's most trusted real estate companies for over 50 years. We offer a diverse selection of property listings and help our clients navigate the world of buying or selling their properties with confidence. Crichton is a name you can trust with our excellent customer service and family-friendly touch. Contact us today to list your home, land, or condo for sale by calling 949-5250 or email info@crichtonproperties.com. Crichton Properties, a trusted Cereba member.
My apologies to our radio listeners. We went a little bit too quiet. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Uh-oh. Good morning.
Hello.
Hi, morning, sir. How are you?
I am good, thank you.
We've been given your contact details to reach out to you. Can you introduce yourself and tell our listeners, our audience, who we're speaking with?
Oh, yeah, my name is Nigel Harris, originally from Jamaica, living in the USA now.
Okay.
I am the father of Andrel Harris.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Nigel. We had a colleague reach out and said to call this number. First of all, we're thinking of all of the family, including yourself, during this very, very difficult time. Can you give us an idea of what you know? I don't know what has been communicated to you in terms of what's going on here in Cayman.
All right, so officially, I don't have any communication from within the Cayman Islands. I was given this information via a friend who is a friend of my son. He reached out to me yesterday and said to me, are you seeing this? Did you know that Angela is missing? And I said, no.
What?
And a part of this is that I'm being honest. And Angela and I didn't have that kind of chummy father-son relationship.
Oh.
And that's a very long situation, long story. But that came about only because of his mom. She's not the most pleasant, difficult person to deal with. She's very difficult. We had our challenges as youth coming up, and this is a story that I really don't need to air like that. But he and I had our relationship. We communicated, and the funny thing about this is that he actually did not reach out to me. He reached out to my wife via Facebook because my Facebook was dormant. So he reached out to her to get to me and the rest of his siblings that are my other kids.
When was that? Was that a more recent communication, or
that was like probably 2 years, 3 years ago.
Okay.
And then that opened up our communication line again, because we had a communication line before that which was broken. So we were communicating not as often as we should, but we did communicate. He did make me aware of the important achievements and steps that he was making in his life.
Yes.
And chit chat. He would from time to time, ask me a couple of questions about our past and stuff. But we were close enough. We did have our communication, not the way I would have loved it, but we did. Yes.
Yes.
And to be honest, learning about this, I think this was the only way I would have learned, because nobody on his mother's side of the family is in communication with me. So nobody would have said this to me. Yes. So when I got the information, I passed it on to my entire family, and everybody started to calling me and going on social media, and they're reposting the information and asking as much as they can. And I reached out to a friend of mine, Wayne Lonesome, who is I wouldn't call him a blogger. He's a freedom fighter, Facebook, what you call a YouTube influencer. And, because I do know he has connections, globally. And I was saying to him my situation, and immediately he got me in touch with the gentleman that owns the security company, and he called another broadcaster there. And that was how I started getting a little bit of information. I honestly don't know what happened. All I could say is that I know that he was probably last seen on about 9:30 on Tuesday, what he was wearing and the location he was in, and then he didn't turn up to work after that. And I'm so concerned, because Cayman is a very small place, and I think he's a very popular person, popular enough, that would create a buzz if he goes missing. And there's no other information coming forth, and
Mm-hmm.
it has been very heavy on me and the rest of
Mm-hmm.
us
Mm-hmm.
here,
Right.
because the trend lately is when people go missing,
Mm-hmm.
um, the end of it is never always pleasant, and we're
Yes.
very fearful for that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, we're encouraging everyone in this end until we know anything for sure to
Yes,
please try to remain positive. So, of
yes,
course, as you rightfully said, we don't really want to get into the history of, the back and
yes,
forth relations because we know family dynamics can be
yes,
very, very complicated. And
yes.
I don't think this is the time or the place for that. But
Definitely not.
so you found out yesterday then through
Yes,
basically online media that he had been
yes,
missing. Hmm.
yes.
Okay.
And it was about this time or a little earlier yesterday that uh, the guy called me and gave me the information, and I told you that, I mean, like,
Hmm.
my day went down the hill ever since that.
Right.
And then what is crazy about this is that I have no way of getting more intimately involved in getting information, hearing anything.
Hmm.
I have to just be sitting back here, just waiting for somebody to call or text, or there's
Hmm.
no part. What can I do? I can't do anything here, and I'd love to
Hmm.
get up and go join a search and be out there doing all of
Hmm.
this, but you know,
Yeah. Well, I guess if you have friends in Cayman, you can encourage them to join the
yes,
search because there is a
yes,
search underway this morning, and we're
mm,
asking for as many people as possible, really all
mm,
hands on deck, to go out there and assist the police in any way that they
yeah.
can. So that is what we would say now. Where may I ask, where in the States do you live? Is it possible for you to come on island
I
to try to support?
I definitely will be playing my part in that respect. I do live on the eastern end of Long Island in New
Hmm.
York.
Okay.
Um, it's a challenging time for me at work because I operate a swimming pool business. It's that time of the year and it's all hands on deck, but this is priority one as well.
Hmm.
So I will be making the necessary arrangements to try to um, come to
Hmm.
Cayman, in this time.
Hmm.
Um, I will, just had some discussions with the rest of my family, and
Hmm.
I'll be making some arrangements. And as soon as I've confirmed,
Hmm.
I will probably give you information.
Yes.
And as soon as I get there, I'll probably try
Hmm.
to meet up with you as well as
Okay.
anybody else. Okay.
Yes, because I mean, obviously, relationships are complicated. And a lot of
Hmm.
times we don't do what we needed to do in terms of relationships. But at a time like this, I'm hopeful that maybe people can come together. And if Andrel, he might be out there
Hmm.
listening to this and hearing you. And if he
Hmm.
is,
I hope
what
he
what would
is.
you what would you want to say to your son this morning if he was listening to you?
Yeah, I just wanted him to know factually that I do love him. I love him no less than any of the other kids, and I really look up to him and his achievements. I think that the sky's the limits for him, and he has his entire life ahead of him. Still, there's so much for him to achieve, and there are people depending on you, my son.
Mhm.
There are people depending on you. So if
Yes.
you are out there and you're hearing, just know that you're loved. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what the situation is,
Mhm.
but you're not alone, and you're loved, and you are needed. All
Mhm.
right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So hopefully, he's getting that message. And Andrel
Mhm,
was in his fourth year of law school. A lot of times I would see him at court, and him and I would have opportunities to talk. And he told me a little
mhm,
bit about his law school journey, and we
mhm,
have so much hope for him because he's a really lovely young man in the community. He's come so far, and we
mhm,
want to encourage him. So,
mhm,
and I want to say I'm not getting involved in your family dynamics, certainly not on the radio.
yes,
But
yes,
if Andrel is found to be safe, I think there's some bridges that obviously need to be mended. And sometimes it
Yes,
takes a situation
to
to
do
bring
that.
us together. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I will always submerge myself to lift, you know, my children, any one of them. So I will take the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
I have no qualms or problems
Mm-hmm.
mending any bridges because I've tried that before,
Mm-hmm.
but to no avail. And I will keep trying if I have to. If
Mm-hmm.
this is what it will take to have him returned safely or whatever, that I am I'm ready from last year just to
Mm-hmm.
do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I Yeah.
Yes,
But
it can be challenging, but yes. All right, sir. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Nigel. And
yes.
again, I just want to let you know, and you can pass it on to your side of the family, that so many people love Andrel and care about him and want to see him return home
Yes.
safely. And
Yes.
of course, we will do everything in our power. The search
Hmm.
teams are out there. From my perspective here on CMR, we're reporting
Hmm.
as much information as we have. We know that the
Yes.
search is concentrated in the Pedro Castle area. I don't know how familiar you are with Cayman, but
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I've only been there once in my life.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was a very small kid that time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hmm.
So yes, so in any event, we're still hopeful. We're remaining hopeful until we have a reason not to be, and we're praying that it doesn't come to that. So I guess if you can continue listening to this show, we will do our best to keep people as informed as possible.
Definitely, I will. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Nigel.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good day.
Yeah.
All
You too.
righty.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. All right, folks. So that was his name is Mr. Nigel Harris, and that is Andrel's father. Obviously, he has admitted to there being, a difficult relationship, as is the case, unfortunately, in so many of our families. But he says he loves his son, and he wants him to know that, and he wants him to know how incredibly proud he is. And Ms. Jacqueline, I do see your comments, and I understand, obviously, from your perspective as well, how you're feeling. So let's just try to, keep it as positive as possible. Someone had sent through his information and said, please give this gentleman a call. He's overseas and he wanted to speak. Miss Beverly, good morning, says good morning. Keyman, listening and following your program from New York. Your son is in our prayers. Thank you, Miss Beverly, there in New York as well. Garrett says the Cayman Islands is a very different place compared to when he last visited. Oh, yes. He said he's only been here once. Wow. All right, 9362626. The phone lines are open today. Again, people sending us aerial views of that Pedro area. And there's a lot of land, like just empty land and stuff in that area. Folks, the plea is if you know anything, if you've seen anything, even if you're not 100% sure, reach out. I'm sure the police will look at all angles of this and try to, answer any questions, explore any possibilities in terms of the search. Oh, my apologies. This person says this has me in tears this morning. Yes, very, very sad situation. Mm-mm. All right. Someone says that there's a container area there where they dump containers on the road that connects far down to the end of the map. Where's this container area? Oh, yes, there's quite a few containers down there. People just leave them there? They say it's a container graveyard? So they just dump them there, or are they being repurposed? Huh. Boy, there's so many areas of this little island that I don't even know anything about. I'll tell you the truth. All right. Shall we try to call the police commissioner, see if we can maybe get him on the line or anything? Anybody on location that can provide any sort of information Let me just see. Let me ask the police PR manager. Is there anyone that we can okay, let's see if we can ask someone from the police side to maybe call the show for an update. Siobhan, T. Campbell says, yes. Okay, he said he just found out yesterday. Eunice says, let's get all the drones up. Hope he's found safe. Thank you, Mr. Neil Hamity, joining us this morning. So good to see you. Miss Lucille, aisle 2025 says, yes, call them. So let's see. Shay says there's a patch across the rocks that connects to Beach Bay. Yeah, I mean, it's all sort of interconnected, right? Okay. All right. Let's see if we can reach Mr. Walton. I don't know that he's going to even answer. I'm going to call him here this morning. And, you know, this is part of policing, right? You get calls on the fly and you have to be able to answer. But let's see if he's available. Let's see what we can do. Thank you. Be nice to each other in the comment section, folks. Be nice. Water current is not simple. There's sharks in the water. Oh, do we have a lot of sharks in Cayman waters? Okay. All right, nothing there. I wonder. Oh, we've got a caller here. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Not bad, dear. How are you?
I'm very well.
Haven't heard your voice in a while, so nice to hear it.
Yes. Wanted to call you yesterday morning, but I couldn't because I had a class teaching.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
Anyway, let's get to it. From I heard this information, you know, it had me in tears. When Angel started his law course, he was doing his. He came to police and was doing his. It was at the police doing his. Just a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm being distracted.
Oh, well, don't be distracted because the radio will cut you off, you know?
No, that's no.
Yeah.
It was in work experience.
Okay, yes.
And while they're doing his work experience, never forget, no, he was going out on the road with us. And you remember that day when you took my picture downstairs at the court?
Yes, sir.
After I went outside, and you know, each time I see this young man, he always, first thing, he always come and give me a hug. Every time I see him, he always give me a hug. I never forget. So, even this morning, listen to you on the radio. My eyes are teary. Always keep listening. And I said, oh, man. And I called some of my old ex-co-workers because, you know, I retired 2016. I called them and talked about it. They can't believe what I'm hearing. I feel so bad about this. He's such a calm, easygoing guy. And I can't believe what I'm hearing about this. So I'm just praying and hoping that Lord will direct the path of all these churches to, you know, direct them in the right path and find themselves.
Yes.
So that's just my piece.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it.
Yes.
All right, my dear. Thank you.
All right.
All right, folks. 936-2626 is the telephone number. I was going to try to see if we could get a hold of someone at the RCIPS for any sort of an update. to see if they can provide us with any sort of details from their end. We know that obviously they are out there doing their best. And again, we want to support the police in this search today, and really just ensure that any way that we can help them. So they have been calling for volunteers, and if you're still able to go out there even now, by all means, please do so. Right? We want you to be safe when you go out there. The police have a plan to ensure that everyone has proper instructions on how to proceed, not jeopardizing any other one's safety. And so make sure that you check in with them, because they've got their community officers on location, and they are very much involved with instructions that they have been given. So, and I want to thank all the volunteers. I understand the Red Cross is out there today as well. So we want to thank them and other organizations who are calling on their own members to come out and, to assist in this search here today. Normally the morning crew is going to take a break. And so as soon as we learn more information about perhaps when they are taking a break and when they might need people in the afternoon. So if you work a job where you get off around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, then you can go out there and be involved in the afternoon search. All hands on deck, folk, all hands on deck. Okay. But again, be safe, take water. It is very, very hot out there. Take a hat, take water to stay hydrated, or even, something else that will give you a little bit of electrolytes. And, yes, see what you can do to assist. 936-2626, if you'd like to give us a call, please feel free to do so. And again, we're thinking about his sister and all other relatives who undoubtedly are on pins and needles, and his good friends. I know that he was very, very good friends with Ben Mead, and a lot of you have been reaching out to Ben Mead, formerly of the Came on 27 crew. And I think Ben has been overwhelmed by the attempts at support, but he said that, his focus right now is trying to bring Andrel home, and they that is their focus, and that is where he's putting all of his efforts and time. So yep. Yeah. All right. So folks, we're remaining positive. I think that is the best thing that we can do. And, if someone, listen, the volunteers might need a little bit of lunch later. If somebody wants to take out some lunch or some sandwiches or something, just think of ways in which you can support. Maybe you can't go out there and walk with the volunteers, but maybe you can take a bucket of chicken or something. You know what I mean? I think that there is a lot that we can do. All right. Okay, folks, let me just see here. Just trying to see if I'm going to check the police to see if there's anything else that we're getting in terms of any updates from their end on social media. And I'm just going to check the emails and stuff as well. So let me just have a quick look while I do that. Okay, 1 second for me, folks. Give me 1 quick second here. All right, let's see. All right, so on the email, we have, let me actually close out my email and reopen it so I can get all the messages here. Social media, I'm just having a quick look. So, right. All right, so email check, we have nothing new this morning from the police. We are in their media WhatsApp group as well. So let me just, I know they sent out something earlier, so let me just read that quickly to you. So this is the RCIPS. So they said the police is aware. Oh, that was last night. So that was about the rumor. We posted that on social media. So I thought I saw them. Did they not send anything out this morning? I guess not. Okay. All right. So I think what we've given you is the latest in terms of what we have. And I'm just going to double check. And obviously, if you have anything else, please do let us know. Okay. All right. So nothing since just the search and rescue update this morning, asking for people to come out at the Cayman Islands Baptist Church at Pedro St. James. Other than that, we have not had anything else. So we'll continue to obviously stay focused on that search and rescue. Okay. Folks, I want to thank you guys very, very much. Oh, this is so nice. I saw my mother-in-law just shared something on Facebook with her husband, who has unfortunately passed away back in 2015. They were featured in the Gleaner, in the Jamaica Gleaner. Aw, can we share a little bit of good news? My in-laws, they are country people from Jamaica. And my mother-in-law shared a memory, but look at this. They made the Gleaner back in 2015. They have a little farm. And so this is about, the headline said, September 5th of 2015, initially Sylvester Hill and his wife introduced pets into their home to help engage their 4 sons, now having amassed one of the largest collections of enclosed animals in St. Mary. Oh my goodness. They're planning to transform their pet project into a fully sufficient organic farm that will educate and employ local people. So look at that. There's Papa Hill with 2 of Marlon's brothers there with some goats. So, yep, good country folks. Using the land as they probably had for many, many generations to live off of. So they had goats there. Oh, look at the little baby one. He's so cute. And they have very, very expansive, like, farming land there and stuff as well. They did honeybees, all sorts of stuff. Every time I would go to Jamaica, he would load me up with honey. Or if somebody else went, he'd send tons of fresh honey for us straight from the honey farm. So may he rest in peace. Was such a kind, kind man. All right, folks. I'm going to go ahead and end the show today. And because we may have an afternoon segment if we find out anything else, we will certainly let you know. Someone says, good morning, Sandy. You're doing such a fantastic job these last 2 days. And your calm yesterday when you were attacked was commendable. There's a deep quarry area veering to the left. And I'm wondering if searchers have gone down in there. To the left, kind of across from the old Dilbert house, other people own the house now. So I think the danger of the quarry is there are probably certain areas that people can't really walk. So I'm assuming that's where the drones and the helicopter come in extremely handy. Okay. Sophia says, Sandy, your baby looks just like him. Aw. Yes, they have very strong genes, I will say. All right, this person says, somebody said they did the quarry. Another person says, Sandy, wondering if the police have a media person. If not, they should get one, because even if they don't want to report themselves, they could provide real-time info direct to the other media outlets. They do have PR people, but how they understand and how they work PR is very, very different. Than the rest of us. Let's just put it that way. All right, so that's all we have, Jason. Unfortunately, nothing else. But folks, thank you guys again so much. Thank you to all of our Instagram folks. I'm sorry, that's on another screen, and sometimes I forget to even look over here. Let me see what Instagram. Someone says was told that we don't have any dogs. Shaking my head, says this person. Wow, I guess I'm not entirely surprised. Have they checked the underwater caves around Pedro? Oh, wow. Underwater caves. Wow. This person says, good morning. I have footage from Pedro Road from 2 different angles, and I've watched them from 9:30 to 5:45. No signs of him walking down Pedro Road unless he went through Sandy Ground Drive. So maybe that's helpful to even let the police know. Now, would your footage have caught like the main road that people would walk? So that's helpful information, I think. And someone says, can you check from 8:30? I would say yes. See if you can maybe go back a little bit, but thank you so much for that. Sorry, no sign of him, and I just watched from 8 p.m. Oh, okay. Thank you guys for doing that. There was a comment about underwater caves at Pedro. I'm not really familiar with them, but that is definitely, you need divers in the water there. So again, I've not heard of any divers in the water, but I can certainly ask. So someone says, yes, there are, Miss E. Williams says there are caves and blowholes along the Iron Shore. Oh. And Jason said, this is ridiculous. There's so many drug dogs, but not one to find people. Okay, so the drone and helicopter and people walking, check the quarry. I'm really... Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Sandy. Yes, there are underwater caves that's on to the east side of Pedro Castle. And that's also one of the caves where the gully, I don't know if you know about the Savannah Gully, that's where the water comes up through. So there are a couple of caves underneath there. However, the waves were a little bit rough yesterday. Mm-hmm. And once it's rough on top, you're going to have some strong currents that will be pulling underneath once you go under as divers. So you don't want to be close to the caves so much because you will get smashed up if you get too close to the caves. But there are about 4 or 5 caves underneath to the east of southeast of Pedro Castle. So, wow. But
I'm assuming those caves, the only way to get to them would be diving, right?
Right, through underwater. And there's some, just a little bit, if the tide drops down low, there's some there. So, and if for some reason, God forbid, that a body is there, it will be trapped underneath the caves. It won't come back out because the currents normally pulls you towards the land side. Depending on, and the drones did go over the quarry, and the drones, some people did walk through the quarry. There's 2 quarries. There's one directly behind the church, and then there's one to the east of Pedro St. James Castle. So they did walk through both of them. One was a gated one. The gate was open, and they did walk through there. So they did walk through, and they also used several drones to go over those as well, and they went pretty close with the drones. So, yeah, they're waiting for, I think they're waiting for the seas to kind of calm down a little bit, because even though the boats can make it out there with rough seas, the current will be pulling a lot. The undertow with those currents will be pulling. So, yeah. So just to give you a heads up.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that information.
Yeah.
All right, dear. Thank you. And someone just messaged and said, I am really a radio person and I wish your radio was on full time. I don't like when I have to switch to Facebook. Soon come from your lips to God's ears, radio station soon come. Because situations like this where we know we need to go a little bit longer on radio, we can. So yeah, we're going to do it. Okay. All right. By the way, can I put a couple job notices out there at Caymanians? Please, there is a local restaurant chain that is hiring in their head office. And so let me just pull these up. They have a couple positions available. They're hiring a administrative accounting assistant. That is someone who's well organized with excellent keyboarding skills, et cetera, et cetera. If you know of anyone looking for a job, there's that one, basic bookkeeping and so on. And they're also looking for a accountant. So if you're interested, you have the relevant skills. Caymanians preferred. A lot of people have been reaching out to us and the company wants to hire Caymanians. And I see some people who are not Caymanians applying or wanting to apply. I mean, the company has specifically said we're looking to hire Caymanians. And that's why I said, you know what, send it through to me. Let me see if we can't find you some Caymanians to apply. And then they're also looking for a shift coordinator. So this is the food and beverage industry, which isn't obviously for everyone, but at the end of the day, hopefully you guys can apply to these jobs if you're interested. Good morning, caller.
Oh, you're by yourself?
No, I'm still on air.
All right. When you finish, you give me a post here.
Okay, dear.
All right.
All right, dear. So they're looking for a shift coordinator as well. So the email address is there. If you're interested, please apply to these jobs. Okay. You know, it might not be, this is not going to be a lifelong career, but hey, if you need a job, it's good, honest work. What did somebody say? I just heard lots of police gone down in Beach Bay. Okay. So yes, trying to cover heading towards the beach, covering all surrounding areas. Okay, folks, we will keep you updated. The one thing I promise for sure, I have an event this evening. I have a couple client meetings, but my clients have to understand that my community comes first. That's why they love CMR as clients. Community comes first. And so if I have to, break news on the fly, whatever, that's what we do, folks. And we want to get you guys the information. Let me see here. This person says, good morning, I have a question. Has there been any confirmation that the camera footage showing the last time he was seen was from the cameras at Pedro? I've heard that the footage was from Chill Spot. No, this is where the camera stuff now gets a little bit interesting, because remember, we were even asking a bit about, that when the commissioner was on Wednesday. There doesn't seem to be any down Pedro Road, which is a little bit weird to me. Like, that's a road that has had other things going down. I would think that putting footage in that area would make cameras in that area make a good investment. So there aren't any. They checked the Baptist church. Their cameras caught someone, but it wasn't clear enough, because I guess their cameras are just designed to kind of just cover their property, not necessarily the road. So there's nothing that puts him directly next to Pedro. It's more of the pinging of the phone, and the footage showed him walking from the main road, walking down that area. So that's where they have come to the conclusion that he is somewhere in that area. All right. Miss Betty, good morning to you. All right. So again, folks, remain positive, continue to uplift the family and keep them in your thoughts and your prayers. And we will update you if we hear anything. We're still very, very optimistic. This is day 4 now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today is Friday, right? Yes. So, get out there and assist with the volunteer effort if you can. I'm going to go ahead and wish those of you who are still here, lots of you still here, in fact, about 800 people. Let me show this video. We're no longer on air, so there's some profanity in it, but I can, just ignore the profanity, folks. I can't. And I should give you a warning. I've not viewed it myself, but I do understand that it shows a man who is injured. Okay? So if you are easily triggered by anything, I would say perhaps don't watch. Yeah? Okay. Give me 1 second. So apparently, there was an accident. I guess in the, oh my goodness, excuse me, in the early morning hours. And boy, bad drivers. So this is on the Esterly Tibbetts Highway. And what I can say is thankfully there were no fatalities, because even this morning, the site was still cornered off and you could see police on location trying to get this mess sorted out. So let me show you, I'm just downloading several different pieces here. So I can show you guys, there's several videos apparently. I can show you guys what went on here. This is just so crazy. I mean, I think these people are probably lucky to be alive from what I can see. It's like, wow. All right, so let me show you what we have. Okay, so this was an accident on Esterly Tibbetts, I think close to Cayman Bay roundabout, maybe down by like more in the West Bay, like further up. But here's the video that we have.
You.
3 cars.
Boss, you good?
Lord Jesus.
Man, I bleed out wicked blood. Which part of my bleed? Which part? Put some pressure where it bleed. Which part of my bleed?
Oh my God.
Put some pressure where it bleed.
Lord Jesus.
Put some pressure upon it, man. Anywhere my bleed.
Maybe you shouldn't move. Maybe you shouldn't move.
Don't try and move my boss.
Wow. 3 vehicles involved is what we know. So give me 1 second. Let me see what these other ones are. Again, my apologies for the graphic nature. I haven't actually watched it, but look at this. Look, this is another one of the cars.
No.
No.
Right, come on, I'll be here, so.
Oh my God.
You dare drive this, my boss?
What?
Wow. No, sir. Wow. What a drama. You guys have got, they must have been speeding. I mean, come on. How do you explain this? What the heck? 3 of you mash up like that? Here's another one. This is the black cars.
The road right before come on a bit.
Whoa. And then, like I said, the debris was still happening, was still all over the roads this morning. So let me show you 2 videos from this morning. Have a look at these. My goodness. What is wrong with you drivers? You can see the aftermath of it. Look at that. Whoa. What a thing. What do they say? Blouse and skirt. Whoa. OMG. That was a type R? Oh, say it ain't so. Let me see. Where? Okay, a type R. Look at all the parts and the marks. Oh my gosh. Maybe that one's a type R. What? Mashed up. Look at that. Jesus. Wow. OMG. So crazy. All right. Well, Lord Jehovah. Okay. Well, luckily, doesn't seem like anyone was killed yet that we've heard of. So that's a blessing. But you guys have got to slow down. That is so crazy. Shay says, meanwhile, Radio Cayman is talking about government budget meeting. I mean, okay, that's important, but all right. What's not a public road? What, that full road down Pedro isn't a public road? That has got to be a public road. Let me say something. When I was in Tampa over the summer, now you guys know I grew up in Tampa, but I haven't been there in a really, really long time. But I made an interesting observation and I thought to myself, let me see if I can find these pictures. Because, you know, this is one of the reasons why I love to travel, because you get ideas, you see stuff and you're like, why isn't Cayman doing that? When a road is a public road versus a private road, in Tampa, the road street name is a completely different color. Have you guys noticed this? Now, I've never seen it in Miami, and I don't know why. If there are no private roads in Miami, I mean, I don't know. But I can tell you that street signs have let me see if I can find one, a completely different color. And I thought this is a fantastic idea because just by the color, you automatically know if a street is private or public. Right? Let me see. Let me see if I can find this. This would have been last summer. I'm going to try to find it and post it up because I thought this is a fantastic idea. I don't think Pedro Road is a private road. I've always thought it was a public road, but I guess, who knows? I could be wrong. But you know, I'll find those pictures. I'll try and go back in my archives and find them. But yeah, why not? Have it a different, so automatically you can look at a road and know that's private, that's public. I'm going to make that suggestion to NRA. I don't know if anyone's ever thought about it, but yeah, that makes sense to me. All right, folks, let's go ahead and wrap it up there. Please be safe on the roadways. Take your time driving, no driving and drinking, no speeding, no speed racing. Go on the racetrack for that sort of behavior because, you know, you could take someone's life very, very easily. All right. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning into the program. And as soon as we know something, we will let you guys know as well. Okay. Yes, they were checking Pedro Castle. I think they have some cameras because I heard yesterday that they were trying to check them and stuff as well. Hopefully theirs was working. All right, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. You guys have a blessed weekend, a blessed day, and stay tuned because if we hear anything, any sort of updates, we will go live and update you guys in real time, okay? All right, folks. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.